All right. Welcome. Profit and productivity, or productivity and profit, whichever. It depends on where you're watching this or listening to this. I'm going to break down some stuff. Okay. I got a question from a private client, and there's good reason to make this general overview. And then what I'll do is we'll actually work out the details one-on-one. The gym owner, and that's something that I've done really well, is build gyms that are self-sustaining. My gym, which is somewhere around here, did really, really well. We were always on a wait list. We were definitely the highest priced, and never had to pay for traffic. And that is because I really understand the process of offline, and really like just utilizing people's feelings, emotions, and serving people to really, really high level. What you have to do if you want to succeed, especially with a brick and mortar, the thing with internet marketing is you can burn through people and piss them off, and there's still a big pool of people to choose from. When you're brick and mortar, when you got a 30 or 40 mile radius, you can't treat people poorly. That's number one. It's the biggest difference between brick and mortar business owners and online marketers. There's a lot of online marketers that are successful in the short term can be complete a-holes because they can't. Brick and mortar business owners that are successful aren't. They can't be. They only have a 30-mile radius of people. So you got to treat people well. Okay, so that's step one. So here's the question that I got. And again, I'm going to go more in depth with this private client, this network member. With being a higher price gym, could maybe do something like 5 people join and then give it a reduced price. No, I wouldn't do that. I'll tell you why in a minute. Really want to dial in the workable offline strategy alongside the R3 improvements. R3 is actually built entirely offline. So we could talk about how to implement it further offline. Been connecting. So I'm gonna show you where the issues are. I've been connecting with local businesses such as barbers, hairdressers, etc., to leave flyers, but then also invite them down for a 12-week experience. That's a red flag for me. Contacting schools to get flyers to put in their kids' bags. That's another red flag. This tells me that we don't understand how to scale a business, right? And I'll get into that. Is there anything else you offline that really works? Putting flyers in front of people does not really influence a buying decision. And if it does, there may be situations where it does, but we don't have the data that justifies this. And I'll explain how to get there. Okay. So I would implore everybody read and understand Diffusion of Innovations, but the short version is people don't buy from flyers. Early adopters, maybe. Your first 20 clients, maybe. But people buy from people like them, giving them the thumbs up, people in the same socioeconomic status, people that also have kids, people that are to perceive to be like them, right? So we actually don't buy a Tesla from a freaking ad popping up or a flyer. We buy a Tesla when we see that our neighbor had one, and we ask, hey, how do you like that Tesla? Can I test drive it? Like that kind of thing, right? It's called Diffusion of Innovations, the research on how new things, innovations actually diffuse throughout like all of history. I would read that because you have to understand a few things. I'm gonna give you the framework. I'm gonna give you some tactics here. So if we understand diffusion of innovations, people buy from people like us saying, hey, I totally love this car. I love this gym. He totally gets me. He understands that I have 4 kids and still designs a program that makes sense for me, right? That's what they need. You can't do all that and copy because there's a perception right here. The reason people don't go to the gym, whether it's true or not, the narrative is they're not like you. You say, hey, look, I'll take care of you. I'll build you a custom program. You are not like them. They are not like you. That is not a very powerful promise to them. That's why I built R3. Okay. So your scale is going to come from your current clients referring, or from these people that perceive that you're very different from them, to start to perceive that maybe you're not so different. Maybe you're a little bit more similar than they originally thought. I'm going to give you a few ways to do that offline. Here's that. Okay. So what this means, again, the future of innovations, stop trying to avoid or eliminate conversation. Spending an hour designing flyers, spending an hour to get them printed out, and spending 3 hours pounding the pavement, passing them out is 5 hours you could have been having conversations. Those flyers are eliminating conversation. It's lazy and it's very, very, very inefficient. Stop creating meaningless JV partnerships. Okay, don't go hairdresser to hairdresser to hairdresser because you're operating in what's called the market norm. You're not like them. They're not like you. They don't connect with you. It's a meaningless JV partnership. It really is. Now, you can still have JV partnerships, but here's the reality. Who do you have a relationship with? Who do you have rapport with? Your hairdresser, right? Develop a JV relationship with your hairdresser because they know you, they talk to you. And if you can't get your own hairdresser to refer to you, then there is no evidence that more hairdressers is better. Okay, and we're going to talk about that because a lot of people are doing a lot of stuff that doesn't work and they're not doubling down on the stuff that does. So the most valuable person to a business owner is their customer. Who are you a customer of? If you walk into this hardware store for some reason and they're like, oh, hey, Nick, what's up? You're here back again and you're their best customer. Talk to them about a JV relationship. There's a relationship built there, right? So don't go door to door trying to build, like, everybody's busy running their own business. They're not worried about giving you clients. There has to be something beyond the market norm. It's a social norm. I'll talk about that in a minute too. So don't do flyers. Don't do handouts. It's a wasted time. Pay somebody, $3 an hour to go do that if you really want to. But here's the thing. How do we know what to focus on? We invert the problem. So the only reason I would hand out more flyers is if I had evidence that if people read this flyer, they come into the gym. If you don't have that evidence, you are like flying completely blind, right? So we say, where did our last 100 clients come from? And we look for commonalities. And if we realize, hey, the more people I run into at the coffee shop, a percentage of them become clients. You should probably just run into more people at a coffee shop. Like, that is a legitimate strategy that I'll share with you. Right. So again, unless a barber has already been, there's evidence that they're good referrers, getting more barbers is just creating waste. Okay. Unless there's evidence that putting flyers in kids' bags is somehow converting, doing more of it is wasted time. I would stay away from that stuff because you're eliminating the conversation. Internet marketing is all about blast the whole world and play the number game. Brick and mortar is not. Brick and mortar is about build relationships. Every time you put out a flyer or a poster or anything that eliminates the conversation, you're becoming a little less efficient. The returns are diminished. Now, diminished returns are still returns, but unless you're like at capacity, you shouldn't be doing things that have diminished returns. Okay. So understand this. Put up a referral board. Jim sent us 5 people. Sally sent us 3. So-and-so sent us non-incentivized. You can celebrate them. You could give them high fives. You can make a big deal out of it. Consistently, every single time, I've had better success and a greater lifetime value by having a referral board that people want to refer because they like us and they believe in us, than if we incentivize them with money or free stuff. And the reason is social norms versus market norms. Okay. Social norms, if you're a higher priced facility, higher priced gym, you want to operate in social norms because market norms would push them to the lower price thing. If people were making decisions based on price, they would not choose you. They're making decisions based on social status, trust, belief, that kind of thing, right? That's a social norm. Now, people like us, probably everybody in this group, A social norm is more powerful. I will help you. If you say, hey, Nick, you got like 5 hours to help me move my furniture, and you ask me in front of like some of our friends, socially, I want to say yes, right? Because it's the social norm is to be helpful and maybe, you know, just help people that can help you later, that kind of thing. The market norm would be like, hey, Nick, if I give you $100, can you come spend 5 hours with me to do some labor? And I'm going to say no, because my time is worth more than $20. So if you incentivize $100 per referral, you're now asking them to decide if it's worth $100 to them to talk their friend into something. You don't want them to do that. You want them to believe in the community you have and all that stuff and want to sell their friend and not have to do the math, whether it's worth it or not, right? So if you are not a commodity, I would stay in the social norms as much as possible. Have peer pressure, right? Be one of us. We're all part of this gym. Come be one of us is way more powerful than like some goofy thing that feels like an MLM scheme. So don't incentivize your referrals if you are a higher price, higher end facility. Okay. Now you can discount. You can say, hey, look, you know, I thought about giving a referral bonus, but the truth is like your friendships are like, I don't want to pay you to bring your friends in, but I'll tell you what, if it helps them out, I'll give them a discount if they come in and they drop your name, or I'll discount your next, whatever. That's fine. But we don't want people out there trying to make money by referring people to us. We want people that want their friends, their family, the people like them to join them, right? Much, much stickier. So throw up a referral board, not incentivized, just for fun. Say, hey, it's just for fun. Some of you are competitive. We love growing our community. And you know, Jeanette already brought in 5 people, so she's at the top there. And that's going to trigger, you know, Molly, who's a type A and competitive, and she wants to bring in 5 people. That is a way more powerful position for a higher priced service, is to operate in the social norm and let human nature do all the selling for you. Don't try to buy them. Okay. Cool. So next thing, really, really big. This was huge for us. Coffee and bagels. Coffee and bagels is what I call it. Once we started doing a lot of free stuff just to help people, and people started coming in, and I realized this is an inversion. If I met people at a coffee shop and they saw that I was eating bagels, they would always be like, how do you look like that and still eat bagels? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I would talk to them, and they realize I'm not as intimidating as I look. I'm pretty friendly. And the way I build my programs, I can eat whatever I want and still look good. And then they became clients. Okay, so before I go do flyers or anything else, I have evidence that a thing works. So I'm going to show you this. This is pretty cool. I went to my assistant and I said, Brandon, from now on, nobody can schedule a meeting with me in the office. Tell them I will be at Einstein's Bagels every Sunday from 9 to noon, and they can come see me and I'll just hang out with them. So I closed off my calendar, went to Einstein's Bagels. I told Einstein's, hey, if people come in, if I get people in here, can we give them free coffee? They said, yeah, of course. Like, that's easy. They're going to buy more stuff. So then I said, anybody that comes to see me at Einstein's, whether they're a client or not, I'll buy you coffee. Okay. So let me show you what happened. This is another thing. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let me show you what happened here. We had 2 or 3 people come see us on the first Sunday, and then 4 or 5 the second Sunday, and pretty soon, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, there's over 22 people in this photo that all came to see us, and they're not all clients. In fact, here's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 people came for coffee and bagels. And you know what? This is Erin Vatland. Her husband is a CrossFitter, probably thought, you know, that gym wasn't for me. He came in, hung out for coffee and bagels, realized that these people are a lot like him, and he signed up. And that happened over and over and over, because people are going to the gym is a big commitment. So if you can say, hey, look, to all your clients, say, look, you probably have a lot of friends, a lot of family that are really struggling with this stuff, and they don't want to listen to you. I tell you what, I'll be at Einstein's Bagels or Starbucks or this local restaurant every Saturday or every Sunday from 9 to noon. Just bring them in. It's super low friction. And what you can do is utilize this diffusion of innovations concept. Now, all of these people, look at these people. They don't look like me. They look like you, right? So now you're showing that the people in this gym are not like you perceive me to be, but they're like you, right? Very, very powerful here. So coffee and bagels became a thing. It became one of our best client acquisition. You see all these, we got all these shirts called Body by Bagels. It became a very, very powerful acquisition strategy because we're utilizing, hey, come hang out. I'll buy you coffee, no pressure, no obligation, no sales pitch. But all they see is all these people that are like them that are really, really happy for joining our program. Okay. So coffee and bagels. Doesn't have to be coffee and bagels. Anything you like to do. The trick is this. The trick is always this. Do something you would do anyway. Worst case, if nobody showed up, I still eat coffee and bagels every Sunday, right? So really, really powerful there. If you have a brick and mortar, this is hands down the most powerful thing you can do. Another thing, here's another fun one. This is Relentless Kids Art. So every Saturday, I said, if your kids bring in a canvas painting, I will buy it from them. And what happened is we had so many kids come that I couldn't buy it all. So we started inviting the rest of the community. Said, hey, look, every Saturday, these kids come in. They make these awesome canvas paintings. They're $20 each. 10 goes to the kid. 10 goes to our favorite charity, which is Maya Matters, right? So all these parents started bringing their kids who had these canvas paintings, and all these people came in to buy this kids art, and they look around and you see the background is a gym, right? But what they see is they see all of these other parents who bring their kids to this gym, and we're showing them that this facility is for people like you. And you can see, so here's a quick video from the gym. Let me mute it. And you can see we actually have the kids art displayed all over the office. So it's a lot of parents that look at me and feel like, whoa, that's not for me. But all we're doing all the time is showing them this is for people like you, and then setting up offline facilitation of them hanging out with people more like them and less like they perceive me to be. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Because that is probably the most powerful thing anybody could do. Like, we actually do this. We have a remote offer and we do this. We do office days. We do Thursday night boardroom. But specifically for gyms, what we want to do is we want to show people that, let me see where we're at here. We want to show people that, look, I know fitness is scary. It doesn't have to be. Let me put you in front of other people that felt the same way. Let's all have coffee and bagels together. No sales pitch, no guilt, no shame. We're eating bagels, right? So all we're doing is we're identifying all these objections. Like personal trainers will guilt you and shame you. Not us. Look, we're eating bagels with you. Really, 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 really powerful. You could be on a wait list all of the time without ever paying for traffic. And I know that because it's exactly what we did. Okay. So offline marketing that works, eliminate anything that eliminates conversation, get rid of it. Always, always, always buys the conversation. You don't have to talk to people all day. You can funnel them to Einstein's on Sunday, right? Or Relentless Kids Art on Saturday. Or for us, it's an office day or a Thursday night boardroom, right? So find stuff you would do anyway and invite your current members and prospects to join you so they can see the other people like them. Don't make it fitness related. That's the thing. Like, There are plenty of people that will pay a lot of money to get their health together, but they don't identify as fitness people. And you're fitness people, when all you do is post selfies all the time, is you're completely missing that segment. Or if you use fitness lingo and you do fitness events and like hiking and all this stuff, it's great, but there's a huge segment of the population that needs your help and you're ignoring them. Relentless Kids Art. Anytime if you have a community kind of family friendly thing, great. If not, you got to find your thing. But have like our ideal is a married couple that is very affluent and has kids for my gym. Okay. Why would I not set up something that the kids love to do and also shows that like, hey, we totally support your family and your kids? Set it up, invite people, because here's the biggest secret that a gym owner should know. Married, affluent people with kids are dying for something to do as a family that doesn't involve food or alcohol. It's very, very difficult to do things as a family. So provide them something to do as a family that is not food or alcohol related. Really, really powerful. Okay, and you can check out the YouTube channel. There's a lot of. I'll show you the last little tip. It's not necessarily offline because they're videos, but all of our Justin Demers is world class at this. But what we're showing people, right? This is what our videos look like. Look, it's people like you. It's not training videos. It's not, you won't see any pictures of, or any videos of people lifting heavy weights or any of that crap. This is what our videos look like. Right? Because people don't go to the gym because they perceive it's not for people like them. Okay. So we could talk, obviously, this is a quick overview. We're going to talk about this in depth with this particular private client and get their gym to capacity really quickly. But I just want to show you how much low hanging fruit there is, and stop finding ways to get in front of people. Getting in front of people doesn't convert, right? When you have a thing that converts, if 12% of people that watch this video become clients, now we find ways to get that video in front of people. We don't just find ways to get stuff in front of people. We're creating waste. It's wasted energy. It's inefficient. Okay. So you got to look and say, okay, our last 3 clients actually came from this thing. Now, how do we get more people into this thing? Right. And it's probably not flyers. It's probably not pounding the pavement trying to get local businesses to give out flyers or cards. That is exactly how you become a commodity. Hopefully that's helpful. Think about that, but implement that stuff. Coffee and bagels is one of my favorite things of all time, and it's very, very, very profitable.